Mr. Know-All, by W. Somerset Maugham is a short story that explores themes of prejudice, cultural differences, and the complexity of human character. Set on a ship sailing from San Francisco to Yokohama after World War I, the story focuses on the interactions between the narrator and a fellow passenger, Mr. Kelada, who is initially portrayed as an obnoxious know-it-all. However, as the story unfolds, the narrator and the reader are forced to reconsider their initial judgments about Mr. Kelada. The story begins with the narrator describing his discomfort at being assigned to share a cabin with Mr. Kelada, a fellow passenger on the ship. The narrator reveals his preconceived biases, noting that Mr. Kelada is not an Englishman but appears to be of Middle Eastern or Levantine origin, which immediately puts him off. The confined setting of the ship becomes a microcosm where the characters' interactions and personalities are magnified. Mr. Kelada's personality. Mr. Kelada is introduced as a flamboyant, talkative, and confident man who seems to know everything about everyone and everything, hence earning the nickname, Mr. Know-All. He dominates conversations, eagerly offers his opinions, and involves himself in everyone's business. This behavior irritates the narrator and other passengers, who find him overbearing and intrusive. Mr. Kelada's larger-than-life personality contrasts sharply with the reserved and formal nature of the British passengers, highlighting cultural differences. The narrator's prejudice. The narrator's irritation with Mr. Kelada is rooted in both his behavior and the narrator's own prejudices. The narrator's description of Mr. Kelada is tinged with racial and cultural biases, as he frequently refers to Kelada's non-English background in a derogatory manner. This prejudice shapes the narrator's perception of Mr. Kelada, leading him to view everything the man does in a negative light. Maugham uses the narrator's biased perspective to critique the superficial judgments people often make based on appearance and cultural differences. The incident with the pearl necklace. The turning point in the story occurs when a discussion arises about the authenticity of a pearl necklace worn by Mrs. Ramsay, another passenger on the ship. Mr. Kelada, who claims to be an expert in pearls, confidently asserts that the necklace is genuine and worth a substantial amount of money. However, Mr. Ramsay, Mrs. Ramsay's husband, insists that it is merely an imitation, having bought it for a fraction of its supposed value. This disagreement leads to a bet between Mr. Ramsay and Mr. Kelada, with the latter staking his reputation on the necklace being real. Mr. Kelada's examination of the pearls. As the passengers eagerly watch, Mr. Kelada examines the necklace with professional care, fully confident in his abilities as a pearl expert. The atmosphere becomes tense as everyone waits for his verdict. Mr. Kelada's previous boastfulness makes the moment even more charged, as the passengers expect him to either triumphantly prove his knowledge or face the embarrassment of being wrong. The suspense in this scene is heightened by the story's confined setting, where every action and reaction is closely observed. Mr. Kelada's surprising decision. When Mr. Kelada finally announces his verdict, he unexpectedly declares that the necklace is indeed an imitation. This statement causes a moment of surprise, as the narrator, and likely the reader, had anticipated Mr. Kelada to maintain his arrogant demeanor and insist on being right. Mrs. Ramsay, who had been visibly anxious throughout the examination, relaxes with a sigh of relief, while Mr. Ramsay smugly collects the winnings from the bet. This moment introduces a twist in the narrative, forcing the reader to reconsider Mr. Kelada's character. The revelation of Mr. Kelada's integrity. Later that evening, the narrator finds an envelope slipped under his door. Inside is the money Mr. Kelada had lost in the bet, with a note acknowledging that the pearls were indeed real. This revelation makes it clear that Mr. Kelada had deliberately lied about the necklace to spare Mrs. Ramsay from the embarrassment and potential marital discord that the truth would have caused. This act of self-sacrifice reveals a depth of character in Mr. Kelada that the narrator, and the reader, had not expected. The complexity of Mr. Kelada's character. The revelation about Mr. Kelada's lie challenges the narrator's, and the reader's, initial perceptions of him as merely an annoying and boastful individual. Mr. Kelada's willingness to lose face and money to protect Mrs. Ramsay's dignity shows that beneath his overbearing exterior lies a compassionate and honorable person. Maugham uses this twist to highlight the complexity of human character and the dangers of judging others based on superficial impressions. The narrator's change of perspective. The narrator, who had previously disliked and judged Mr. Kelada, is forced to reassess his opinion of him. Although the narrator does not express this change directly, it is implied through his reflection on the events and the realization of Mr. Kelada's true nature. This shift in perspective underscores the story's broader theme of the need to look beyond appearances and cultural biases to understand the true character of individuals. Mr. Know-All concludes with the narrator's acknowledgement that Mr. Kelada, despite his irritating behavior, possesses qualities that are admirable and worthy of respect. The story ends with a subtle but powerful message about the dangers of prejudice and the importance of seeing people for who they truly are, rather than judging them based on stereotypes or first impressions. Maugham's story serves as a reminder that human beings are multifaceted, and that acts of kindness and integrity can come from the most unexpected sources. Mr. Know-All, by W. Somerset Maugham is a story that challenges the reader to confront their own biases and reconsider the way they judge others. Through the character of Mr. Kelada, Maugham explores themes of prejudice, cultural difference, and the complexity of human nature, ultimately revealing that true worth is often hidden beneath the surface.